one thing about you. I mean, so you are helping one guy. He's 22 years old. You brought him in your house, and then you support him. He still live with you. Is that true? If it's true, so just tell us about that thing.
Yes.
Okay.
That is true. I am a very strong believer of helping each other. We all really need to work very hard to support and help each other, especially during this pandemic, where our people are struggling and don't know where to get help. So yes, currently I have a young man who's 22-year-old staying with me, was struggling with life. I'm going to make it very short, and he's doing really good and improving a lot. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very good example. The people who is refusing to help people, it's life, there is a challenge when you live and there is a lot of people, they need help. So this is a good example. Thank you for doing that. Anyone who hear this, we should support each other. I just want to give that message. This time it's COVID-19. It messed up a lot of things. So what's your plan for the future?
Yeah, I mean, our union in our industry, food service, hotels, have been hit harder than any other industry. And I know it's like a lot of places have closed and but specifically, I mean, I know I think I've been out to eat one time since the pandemic started. So for our union, it's been there's been massive layoffs. I was laid off over the summer for 4 months. Myself as an organizer for the union, my wife was laid off, who also was working for the union, and so we're doing we're thinking about a couple of things. I think one, it's like as people go back to work, as if and when there's a vaccine, and there's still going to be the virus out there. And so we need to make sure that people are working under safe conditions, pushing against, again, these companies are thinking about making money, and that's all. We're thinking about the health of our members and making sure that people can, if they choose to go back to work or can go back to work, can do so safely. And then the other thing is that I think that we have to still keep organizing. We have to keep winning the union at new workplaces. And so something that's been exciting in the Twin Cities is that there are different breweries and distilleries, so places that make liquor, places that make beer, that are organizing into the union for the first time, which is very exciting. I think that's there's some piece of the future for our union in that.
Yep. Do you want to add something, Feben, on this question? Yep.
Sure. So one thing that for me that we should learn from this is this pandemic hit us very hard, like Joef said, especially the restaurant business. So the difference is, like at the airport, I'm going to give you an example at the airport. So there's some restaurant that has union, and there's some restaurant that doesn't have union. So we were hit the same way, the same time. But then if you have union, you have a second party that's going to advocate for you.
Okay.
Versus if you don't have a union, you are out, and you are out. So it's very important. It shows how important it is to have a union that will say, well, we have a contract, and this is what we have. How do we go forward? What's the plan? What are we doing for our people? How about the health benefit? You cannot just get rid of people. We do understand the pandemic happened, but then how do we work together to benefit the people too?
Yeah. In what way are you guys gonna help the people who's lay off, maybe furlough? So let's say one person is included in the union, but in this COVID-19, so that person is laid off. And in what way are you guys helping that person?
Well, for example, before the COVID, there is a contract.
Yes.
So
the health insurance was a good example. Not to interrupt, but
yes or no. So, but right now we are advocating like people should have the health insurance. That's the main thing right now. It's very crucial for people to have a health insurance. So our union is working very hard that people don't lose health insurance, and then also don't lose their job either. So the company cannot just get rid of the people that was working and then hire new people.
Right.
You know, they cannot just get rid of you if you don't have a union. You know, they can just say, well, it is what it is. But they cannot say it is what it is because there's a union that says no. Mm-hmm. We know what we know, and then this can't be happening. Right. So we're working very hard in order for the existing members, and also we're working very hard to organize others to be a union. And actually, people are asking who are not union are asking how can be a union. So this is our time for us to get very organized. You know, to unite all of us together, because it's very important for people to have union. For example, myself, I cannot imagine work in a place where there is no union. Mm-hmm. And 15 years ago, if you had asked me, I'll be like, well, what's union?
Yeah, what does it matter, right?
Right. What does really matter as long as I get along with my manager,
right?
And I'm fine. But it goes beyond that. Like, you know, the health benefit and then your vacation and all that.
Yeah.
And you just don't come in and out. For everything, they have to have a reason, and the company will get questioned.
Yeah, just two clear examples maybe is like for hotel workers in downtown Minneapolis and St. Paul, health insurance was provided for people stopped working when everyone stopped working in March, and people had health insurance through September, most places. And that's because we pushed the companies to pay for 2 months for people's health insurance, and then the health fund itself, which is kind of complicated, but the point is that people had health insurance for many, many, many more months than when they stopped working, which is if you don't have a union, if you're at any other job, you stop working and you lose your job, you stop your health insurance. Because again, America is brutal and messed up. And the second thing is that what Feben was talking about, your right to your jobs. That's called recall rights, meaning that people that were laid off have many months, sometimes up to a year, to return to their job. Like the manager has to say, if they have business, they have to call people in the order that they were laid off to offer them their job back. And so they can't just lay off someone or fire someone and then hire someone off the street. That's cheaper. They have to go to Feben if she was laid off and offer her job back.
Even if they should have the health insurance, right? So if they got laid off, so they should have they should keep the health insurance, right?
It depends. It depends on were we successful in pushing the company to pay when they didn't have to pay for health insurance, right? Like in America, our health insurance is tied to our unemployment. Mm-hmm. Every job in which you have health insurance, even though you're paying a lot every month, the company's also paying. And so what we did at places like the airport and the hotels where we had the union is that we forced the company to pay the entire amount for people's health insurance for more months than people were employed. So it meant that they were not working, laid off, and receiving health insurance for a number of months. Now, for a lot of people, that's ending, right? Like we're in October. They had health insurance till the end of September, and that's why I think Feben was talking about like, as a union and as a movement of working people in the cities and in Minnesota, we're pushing our representatives to sign on to this bill that would give people health insurance for a year. And actually, we have an event coming up with Ilhan Omar, Congresswoman in Minnesota and in Minneapolis, that she's introducing this bill into the House that would tax the profits of billionaires that have been made during the pandemic and take that money, put it into Medicare, and allow people to pay for their out-of-pocket medical expenses from now for a year, right? Like in this time of desperate health concerns, we need access to healthcare. Everyone does, whether you're working or not. And this bill would do that. And so we're supporting things like that are beyond the union. There's bigger scope than just like, the workers at the Hilton or whatever.
Yeah, you explained it very well. So I think this is very important to be in the union, especially at this time, because like health insurance is the most important thing we should focus on. So you explained it very well. So Feben, in Ethiopian community, so you have a lot of contact with them. How do you? So what's your advice for the people who's not in the union?
So I am going to include Ethiopian and Eritrean community also.
Yes.
Because at the airport and at the hotels, there is a lot of workers who are from Ethiopian and Eritrea.
Okay.
Our community needs to get involved more, and because if we don't march for what we want, if we don't fight for what we want, we won't get our right. And also, we need to interact with. We cannot only just stay in our community. We need to interact, especially in the workplace. We need to interact with other workers. We need to unite, and we need to get involved because we need to speak. It's our voice that's going to get us what we want. So we need to be out there marching. We should not expect, well, I'm a union due payer, so it's my right, I should get my right. Well, the people that I'm paying should go fight for me. It's not like that.
Yeah.
It's our fight. We need to be out there fighting, cold, hot, dark, light,
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You gave an example earlier, how Maggie was out there with her 6-month-old child to fight. So we all need to fight out there to get our right. It's very important that we get involved and we become a part of this fight.
Right. Yeah. You mentioned a good point, because when we know our rights, so there is a way how to fight. We know how to fight, and then we know who's gonna contact us, and that's a good point. So we need to fight for ourselves. We need to be part of in the union. So do you have any favorite music, and then we can hear and then back, Jeff? Or
Favorite music?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Do you actually like this program? What I am like broadcasting is it's about art.
Okay.
So, but today it's very important to bring you guys talk about the union. So that's why I brought you. But this is I have our art program.
Yeah.
So if you have any like kind of music, or
Yeah, I
something,
mean, so I mean, I do like a lot of music, but the one I was listening to the radio on the way down, and there was some songs by John Prine, who's like a kind of a folksy country singer.
Let me search it and then yeah.
What was the music that we heard before? What are the main lyrics of it? Like, what are they singing about?
Oh, the previous music?
Yeah.
That was Ethiopian. They mentioned every place in Ethiopia.
Okay.
So he told her, like, let's go to visit this place.
Yeah.
And she said, let's go to visit. And she mentioned every place.
Okay.
That's the beautiful area.
Okay.
Yeah, that was nice music.
I'm going to play a song. I had a unfortunate death in my family this summer, and I'm going to play the song that reminds me of my uncle.
That's nice. So everybody who's hearing this, it's Ethio Engine Studio from Rochester, Minnesota. We're here with guests today, Feben and Jeff. Let's hear this music and we'll be back.
When I get to heaven, I'm going to shake God's hand. I'm going to thank him for more blessings than one man can stand. Then I'm going to get a guitar and start a rock and roll band. Check into a swell hotel. Ain't the afterlife grand? Then I'm going to get a cocktail, vodka and ginger ale. Yeah, I'm going to smoke a cigarette that's 9 miles long. I'm going to kiss that pretty girl on the tilt-a-whirl, 'cause this old man is going to town. Then, as God is my witness, I'm getting back into show business. I'm going to open a nightclub called the Tree of Forgiveness and forgive everybody who ever done me any harm. Why, I might even forgive a few choice critics, those syphilitic parasitics. Buy 'em a pint of Smithwick's and smother 'em with my charm. 'Cause I'm gonna get a cocktail, vodka and ginger ale. Yeah, I'm gonna smoke a cigarette that's 9 miles long. I'm gonna kiss that pretty girl on the tilt-a-whirl, 'cause this old man is going to town. Here we go, boys. Yeah, skiddy-da-ba-do. Yeah, when I get to heaven, I'm going to take this wristwatch off my arm. What are you going to do with time after you bought the farm? Then I'm going to look up my mom and dad. And good old brother Doug, why, I bet him and cousin Jackie are still cutting up a rug. And I want to see all my mama's sisters, because that's where all the love starts. Miss them all like crazy. Bless their little hearts. And I always will remember these words that my daddy said. He said, buddy, when you're dead, you're a dead peckerhead. I hope to prove him wrong. That is, when I get to heaven, because I'm going to have a cocktail, vodka and ginger ale. Yeah, I'm going to smoke a cigarette that's 9 miles long. I'm going to kiss that pretty girl on the tilt-a-whirl, because this old man is going to town.
All right, here's back. Thank you for giving us this music. It's
Sure.
very entertaining.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. ATO Engine from Rochester, Minnesota. We're discussing here about union today. If you have any question, just you can call 651-497-9677. You can put any comment. So I'll pick your favorite music next. Okay.
Get ready.
Yeah.
Be prepared.
Yeah. Feben, so what do you think about, we discussed about union, and then let's discuss about women empowerment, because I heard you working something about women empowerment. What's your experience, and then what do you want to say about women empowerment?
Well, women empowerment. So, in our community, actually, we the women are more powerful.
Yes, it's true.
If you look at the statistic, even education and work, and it's very, very powerful.
Yes.
I see a lot of the future, especially the young generation, are very out there. So I'll in the union also we have, when we see march and when we see a lot of our march, and when we are out and about, I see more of our women out there marching for our right, and especially in our community, our women are have a strong voice, and our workplace, very strong words. The participation of the women is very strong and powerful. So I really like to see more of our women, especially workers, to be out there. Because in our industry, if you see, especially like the hotels, a lot of the housekeeping is a lot of our women that works at the housekeeping. And the job it's not that easy job. It's a very, very hard job. So I really, really would like to see more of our women out there marching with us and expressing their voice and asking for their right. And so I want to use this opportunity to call out to more of our women who are out there working to be out, march with us, and to be participating more and being more involved.
Yeah, you mentioned it, like women is like the big part of us, but especially in our community, there is no big involvement. They work a lot, but especially in the administration or something politics, or like big stuffs, they don't participate very well. I hope you're working like very good thing for that. Thank you for that.
We do need more education, especially if we talk about the politics aspect of it. We do need more education. We do need to get more information. So it's good to see this kind of radio station is run by the young generation to pass out information and to let people know what's going on out there. We're here. We live in the United States.
Right.
So we do need to get involved. We need to be out there. And we need to be voting. Let's not forget that. So we do need to be involved, and we need to go beyond our community and out and interact and be a part of the society.
Did you go to? How old were you when you moved here?
I was 14.
Okay, so you finished high school here?
Yes, I did. Went to my high school here.
And did you go to college?
Yes, I did. Went to college.
Where did you go to college?
I went to North Dakota State University.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Nice. It's been a long time.
And then I went to National American University also.
That's awesome. Cool. Very cool. Okay. Sorry.
Where school did you go to?
I went to a school called Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. So when I first went there, I thought I wanted to work for the government until...
Where did you meet with Maggie? I think you said...
I actually met her in Minnesota, but in 2007.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now you have kids. What's her name? How old is she?
We have one kid, Maxine is her name. We call her Max. And she is a year and a bit old. She was born in September. So September of last year.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I know you're a very strong person.
Yeah.
I hope you're going to make a lot of things better.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So based on your 16 years experience, what advice do you have? You can add on the women empowerment, and what advice do you have for the people who's not in the union?
Yeah. Sure. I mean, I think just in my experience, anecdotally, or just from what I remember, the women in the union, there's more women that are leaders in the union than men, in my experience. I think that has to do with the fact that women in general are, they care about people more, and they take care of people more than men do. And so, yeah. And so, but it just shows that that women, I think are less selfish than men are in general. This is all general, but it's many cases though that there are more women involved in leading the union, which is great. And I think it's unexpected, because I think that women are not expected to be fighters, but they're often the strongest people in our families and our lives are women. Definitely my experience with my mom. And so for people that are not in the union, I mean, I think that that you should be in the union. You should have a voice at work that your boss has to respect. You should have a say on how much you earn per hour. You should say on how often your raises get. You should have a say in how much you pay for health insurance when you're working. It doesn't have many of our workers in our union have free health insurance because they've fought for decades to keep their health insurance free. Or for people at the airport, they pay $20, $30 a month for health care. That is unheard of in America, to have health care that cheap. If you're not in the union, you should look up Unite Here, Local 17 on Facebook or on the internet. If your job isn't covered by our union, because we cover specific jobs, restaurant workers and food service workers and various things, we'll put you in contact with the union that you need to talk to get a union at your job.
Yeah, you said it very well. So yeah,
I just want to say it doesn't have how your boss says your job should be right now, or you leave. That's a false choice, because the third thing that you can do either like your job, no matter what, leave. The third choice is to organize the union and push your boss and make that job better.
And also, if I may add on this, there's nothing that we women got because they need this and they need that and they deserve this. Everything we got, we fought for. That's why you see more women being involved in the union.
Yes.
Because every fight we did, we had to earn. So there's a lot of fights that women did to get what we got. So.
Yeah. Before we skip the next question, so let me add one thing. So you have 15 years experience too. So there's, as Jeff mentioned, there is many victory to win the contract, everything, but there may be another thing, like you lost the contract or you lost it. So do you have any story? You lost the contract, maybe?
Not so much losing a contract. I would say a lot of time there's a lack of worker involvement.
Yes.
Sometimes we are misinformed that the fight should be with the people that are representing the worker. So I see sometimes a lot of workers not getting involved and sitting and negotiating the contract. So I think there's a lack of information maybe, or lack of education, or lack of information that our worker don't know. This is our fight. Union is us. Union is me. So we have to fight. It's up and down. We don't always get what we want. We don't 100% get what we want.
It's but like negotiation.
At least we get something, and at least we try and we fought. We didn't get it this time, but we get it next time. And then this would be a start and an education for us how to fight. Then the following fight that we can fight better.
Yes. If you have like a story or like something you remember every time.
When you asked the question about losing, we don't always win. There were some workers at Surly Brewing, which is a nationally known beer that's produced. Those workers lost their union vote, so they were asking their boss to be part of the union. The boss said no. In America, you ask the government to hold an election just about the union, yes or no. Those workers lost the union by one single vote. It's a heartbreaking loss that now that their restaurant is going to close for the winter. If they had the union, they would have been able to negotiate recall rights, meaning that when the place opens back up in the spring, that they would have to offer those workers their job back. We don't have that ability to win that or the workers don't have the ability to have that now because they lost their union by a single vote. And it was devastating. Because that boss is not going to do right by the workers. He's not going to, especially after trying to organize the union, that boss is not going to offer the people their jobs back for sure.
So it depends about vote, not losing.
Yeah, I mean, this thing was a vote. The contract fit like what Feben was talking about. The contract is like, if we had 100% of workers involved in the contract and fighting for, a $3 raise, we would win it. People would win that because the boss knows that they only operate their business when the workers are running it. So if every worker is saying, give me $3 now, or we're going to hit the streets, that's power, right? And so our work is making sure that people know what it is that they're fighting for, and to be a part of it, and to move as one unit when the boss says no, or it says, I don't know, I can only afford 50 cents or whatever the bosses say.
Oh yeah, that's a great explanation. So thank you. So before we move based on our time, it's going to 15 minutes left. I'm going to ask you the message you have finally let me start from Feben. If there is any message for the people, this time it's COVID. So there is many people suffering by this thing, unemployment, maybe many things. So if you have any message for those people and for everyone, and then if you think anything left you didn't speak, so you can say it, and then you will tell me your favorite music, and then we'll listen later for you to this question.
So what I would like to say is, I know this pandemic is really tough time for people. Reach out, ask for help, ask for information, and research for Local 17. And there's a lot of help you can get in our website, like food shelf, and about our union and how to get organized. and think about how do we rise above this. And the workers who are out there working, let's get organized, let's get strong, let's be strong. We can work together to overcome this. I just wanted to say we need to get more involved and we need to be out there. And I also would like strongly say, please go out and vote.
Thank you very much, Feben. Yeah, you can continue. Like, if you have any message for the people, as I mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the biggest thing that I wanna say is that, like, how your job is now is not how it has to be. And I think that we are so trained in America to think it's either this job or the door. And you know, especially in the food service industry, people work in restaurants for a couple of years until they get sick of it, and they leave and they go to the next place. And they work at that place for a couple of years and they get sick of it, they leave and they go to the next place. And it doesn't have to be like that. Like, I started with our union volunteering in Las Vegas, and although Las Vegas is not my favorite place to live, people that clean rooms own houses. You know, people that clean rooms send their kids to college because workers there are part of our union, and they've fought for 40 years to make that job a good job where people have free health care for the family. They make a wage enough where they're only working one job, and they have retirement benefits. That is a job. That is a career in Las Vegas. Our jobs are good in the Twin Cities, and actually, part of our union now is in Rochester, representing a couple of hotels, and it used to represent a lot of the cafeteria workers and like the different Mayo clinics stuff that it's around here. But again, like our union has to. I moved to Minnesota because new leaders had taken over the union, and it was very similar to Florida, where some not the greatest leaders led the union for 20 years. And a new crop of a new generation of people took it over. And so my wife and I moved back to the place that we call home, that we always thought we moved back to make sure that we're moving forward and involving more and more people like Feben, who are natural leaders in the workplace, like yourself, Sammy. Like, you know, we met through organizing your job. And that's the kind of union. We have to build a union leadership that represents the people that we are representing, that is the same people that we're representing. So I'll say it one more time: Unite Here, Local 17. You can find that on Facebook. You can find that on your Google search engine. If we're not the right union to help you with your work stuff, we'll connect you with someone that will. So
yeah, this is a good message. Yeah. So everyone, the audience, you hear this, so just search local here, Unite Here Local 17, so you can find any information, and you can ask any help or how it work, everything. So thank you very much. Thank you, Joef, Feben, coming here and giving us time and share your experience. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So let's hear the Feben's music to finish our program, and then we'll be back.
So there's a young musician who just moved to Minneapolis. I heard so much about him. His name is Ashenafi.
Oh, nice.
I haven't heard the song, so I don't know much about him, but I would like to hear something about him.
Yes. So actually, tomorrow we will invite Ashenafi here, and then he's gonna introduce the new music. So that's nice. I'll.
ልዩነታችን ውበታችን ነው። ኢትዮጵያዊነት እኮ ከዘር በላይ ነው። ኧረ ጎበዝ ተው፣ ደግ አይደለም ተው፣ አብሮ ለመኖር ፍቅር በቂ ነው። ሀቅ ነው ሀቅ ነው ሀቅ ነው። አቲ አኔሞ አኔሞ አቲ አዶጋ ድነርናንቺ ልዩነታ የሰራችን ውበታችን ነው ኢትዮጵያዊነት እኮ ከጥር በላይ ነው አረ ጎበዝ ተው ደግ አይደለም ተው አብሮ ለመኖር ፍቅር በቂ ነው ሀቅ ነው ሀቅ ነው ሀቅ ነው ንሲባ
All right, we're back. Ethio Engine from Rochester, Minnesota. Today we're guest with Joef and Feben. Thank you very much. They gave us a big information today. We had a very good time. Thank you again. Thank you very much. And then finally, if you have any message or if you want to thank any family, maybe if you want to give any information, it's your chance.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for having us. Appreciate it. I think what you're doing is very cool. I've known you for a little bit. No idea that you were doing this. This is very awesome. I really have a lot of respect for it.
I hope you will be back for the next time and you give us more information.
Sure, yeah, whenever. I'll leave my phone number also for people that are interested in talking more about the union. It's 612-513-1464. 612-513-1464. And I do want to say hello to my beautiful wife, Maggie, and my beautiful daughter, Maxine. So thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. So I want to say thank you for Maggie too, because I know her. She's very strong. And then thank you very much. Feben, it's your time. So you can thank anyone. If you want to give any message before we close. Sure.
I just want to say thank you so much for having us. And I'm very proud to see the young generation doing this.
Thank you.
That's all. Just thank you and be get involved and get organized and just you are the union, we are the union. We all need to get organized and work together. And I would like to see us more our people being out there marching and expressing their voice and not expecting others to do it for them. So
thank you very much again, both of you. Everyone, so our time is limited, so thank you very much. For the next time, we will tomorrow we'll host our meeting with Ashanafi, and we will be back next time, next Sunday, 11:30 a.m. Thank you very much.